So, I think I'm going to call this video slow, um, because that's the idea I started out with for it, but as I've thought more, it's changed a little. Um, Also, I don't actually intend for each of these to have a different background, but I'm dealing with the lighting systems I've got and the top-down view that I think you're still probably going to be getting on weekends. That relies on a lot of natural light being around. So today I have written next to nothing. It's been a very slow day, but that's okay again. And I know this is similar to what I've said in yesterday's video, but I want to explore it a little more and in a slightly different way. So, a decent chunk of the videos I'm going to do will probably deal with slow progress and just the ways that I'm going to deal with it. However, this video, I'm doing it, and it's fulfilling my obligation. And that's enough, I think, because through my life, there's been a lot of people that have wanted me to excel. And by that, they mean more than I was obliged to do, more than I was inclined to do at times. They want me to fulfill my potential. Well, I've got a whole lot of potential, and it's a whole lot to try and fulfill. But the people that want me to do that absolutely suck. To start off on a tangent that I swear will go somewhere, for many people with addiction, for many people with addiction, the 12-step program is far from ideal. It's got a surprisingly low success rate, or at least did in the past. The systems might have changed in the last few years. Surprisingly low success rate given how much we see it in the media. Anything with Anonymous at the end of it is usually stylized after Alcoholics Anonymous. And for the people it works for, it really works for them. But for the people it doesn't, they just feel abandoned by it. So the reason that it succeeds for few, but intensely, and fails for most, is because it's strict. They have these chips for signifying the different lengths of time, and a reward system is great. People love rewards for anything. But those rewards are for perfection, or at least they used to be. They say how long you've gone, and if you fall off the wagon, you'd start again. And it's because of that, that's where they fail. People will fall off the wagon and then leave behind everything because, now I'm starting back from square one, and what's one more drink before I start again? Because I'm back at the beginning. Of course, that's not how things really work for people under almost any other circumstance. There's more leeway. The systems that have a greater chance of succeeding have more flexibility. Alcoholics Anonymous and other groups use the term falling off the wagon, right? And that makes it seem like something else is the driving force. One of the steps is to give yourself over to a power greater than yourself. And whilst I'm still willing to say that other systems can work with that step or without it, it's a fundamental part of it, but it also takes the power away from you. Part 2, taking over from after the interruption. So they take the power away from you as an individual and put it to this higher power. And like I say, for some people, that way works. But the ones that statistically work better are ones that are more flexible on the concept of success and failure. instead of seeing it as a wagon driven by someone else, picture it as a really, really big hill. And I use hill instead of mountain here because when people hear mountain climbing, they think the start of Mission Impossible 2 or something more relevant to this century. But it's like bareface rock climbing, and it's not like that. Think of it as climbing up a moderately steep hill. Sometimes you'll fall, but most of the time when you do fall, you'll just fall where you stand. If you pick yourself back up and start walking again, you're making progress again from where you left off. You're not starting at the beginning. And, you know, occasionally you will fall back, you'll backslide, but very rarely will it be all the way. And you only give up when you actually choose to give up. And whilst you're walking up there, you can look back and see what's behind you. And you'll see rock bottom where you started. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that this is the same situation, but programs work on a similar psychological basis, regardless of the stakes for them. I have times when I stop and look around on my journey, and there are times when my steps forward might be slow and plodding, and most likely I will struggle more with my journey at the earlier starts of it when I'm not a very good hill climber. But even if I struggle near the summit, it's not over if I struggle. I will stand atop this great hill when I reach the summit, and there are no shortcuts. But it's not a race, and I have a responsibility to be nice to myself and kind to myself. And by making this video that ended up being more long and in detail than I planned, I fulfilled my obligation. I've done my steps for today. I'll catch you tomorrow, guys.